welcome to the Clear Tai Chi Mastermind meeting for Friday, June 24th, 2022. With you today is me, Richard Clear, your resident host, and Matt Holker, the regional organizer for Maryville, Tennessee, outside of Knoxville. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Daniel Hill, the regional organizer for Phoenix, Arizona.
That's right, teaching here in the West Valley as Phoenix Internal Arts.
Welcome. Ty Talbert, and you're going to have to tell him San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. Hi, y'all.
Welcome.
Warrior Tai Chi.
Art Dawn in the Washington, D.C. area.
Hi, I'm in Greenbelt, Maryland. That is 12 miles east of Washington, D.C.
Welcome. Mark Mashad in Michigan, and he's going to tell you what parts.
Hi, it's the Midwest Michigan area covering Grand Rapids and Lansing.
Welcome. Philip Chan in Columbus, Georgia.
Hello all.
Welcome. Harry Legg in Verona, New Jersey, outside of New York City.
Hello, hello. School is New Jersey Tai Chi, yes, in Verona, and also in Fairlawn with our other instructor, Paul Shansky. Thank you.
Welcome. Sheila Bell in Costa Rica.
Yes, hey everybody, it's Balance Ideal Tai Chi, and we have classes in Playa del Coco and La Veria, and possibly in Las Catalinas when Jim gets here, so we're looking forward to that.
Welcome. Jim Kelly in Boca Raton, Florida.
That's it. The waiting room for the gates of heaven. Yes.
Welcome. Well, is it really that in the middle of the summer?
No, no. About this time of the year, it's more like hell. But
In February,
it gets hot. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So a quick word from our sponsor. Each year we have on the 1st of June, we have our Clear Tai Chi family gathering. And with that, most of the folks that you're seeing here come and teach. And we have some guest instructors usually, and those are one of the ones this last year was a push hands champion, like 40 different gold medals that he's won over the years. And then we had Chad Bailey, who was a senior acupuncturist and has a lot of great health information and did a really nice workshop on that. And then he has other martial skills as well and brought some of that out too. And other such things, including people from different styles of Tai Chi, like Chen style, and all of that. So if you want to know more about what that's about and you're seeing this, go to taichigathering.com. That's taichigathering.com. And it's a great time, amazing weekend, and you'll want to avail yourself of it.
Yeah, it was a huge blast. This was our first year doing it at the Hilton here.
The last time we did it.
The last time we did it in 2022, and it was really great. And we're wanting to do that again with them next year, and have an even bigger, better event.
Cool. All right. So our topic today is it's an interview, and we're interviewing all the folks that are regional organizers for Clear Tai Chi, and this is for Daniel Hill.
Daniel was one of the teachers who was there at the gathering. He taught a great workshop on wave power, and he has already done some discussion on the podcast on that subject as well. But we're going to take a moment to pick his brain and get to know him a little bit better today.
Have your questions ready, and a little bit of roasting here and there sometimes in all the different interviews which you may see. All right, so tell us your name and your school name and any other things that pertain to that directly.
All right, my name is Daniel, in case any of you didn't know that yet. My school name is Phoenix Internal Arts. I chose the name Internal Arts just because it's not just Tai Chi that I want to do and teach. I want to, do the Fa Gong side of it. A lot of people just associate Tai Chi with just the physical movements. I want to do the mind, body, spirit stuff as well. And just for fun, some Xing Yi and internal Salat. Just get to punching people a little bit.
Cool. Tell us your school situation, including satellite classes, et cetera, city and state locations. Any of that.
All right. Right now, I'm mostly teaching just privately. I have different places across the whole West Valley. Phoenix is kind of split between East and West. And on the West side, I've taught in most of the sub-cities already to different students, and I'm hoping to get regular classes going in several of these locations.
Do you have a website that they can then access to see where you're at and how to contact you and those kinds of things?
I do, phoenixinternalarts.com.
phoenixinternalarts.com. Okay. And you've got about how many consistent students right now?
For my private students, I've got about 4, and then I've got a handful in a group class as well.
Okay, and so you do have a small group class going. Okay.
Mhm.
Good. And those are, if they're trying to make those arrangements with you, is there times a day that are like better, or what's the situation there?
All my group class people are retired, and they like early afternoon or late morning time. As far as private students go, I go with whatever the student schedule is, whether it's on the weekends or sometimes on the evenings, whatever works for them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Ben for the two of you. Yep. All right. How many years have you been studying Tai Chi?
All right. Well, I first started learning Tai Chi about 17 years ago, although I wouldn't say I've studied it consistently since then, because I didn't have a very high opinion of Tai Chi because I didn't know what Tai Chi was. I was just more so focused on the Qigong aspect of it, feeling the energy whenever I can and exploring that. When I found you, I guess I've been doing Tai Chi specifically with you for about 3 years, although I've been studying your internal stuff for about 5.5 years.
Okay. When you first, hold on, before I go on from that. I
Has it
got other
only
stuff
been
left.
3 years in the Tai Chi for you with us?
2019, when I was on Wudong Mountain and I said, screw this crap, and went to your Push Hands Level 2 workshop, that's when I started actually doing your Tai Chi curriculum online.
Yeah, wow, okay.
So you had Push Hands Level 1 before that. How long before
I
that?
did.
Push Hands Level 1.
I did Push Hands Level 1 2 years before that, but since I was living in China, 2017 is when I first met you and did the Push Hands Level 1, because I was like, I want to see if this guy can really do what he advertises for this workshop. And that's what got me kind of hooked, but I couldn't practice a lot of push hands in China because nobody would play with me.
So you went to, so you had that, and 2 years after you had that level 1, and we'd seen you for another workshop or 2 in between, correct?
Yep, I took the internal power workshop and I bought literally every online program you had.
Okay. Then they had was it a 30, how long was the Wudong program supposed to be? 30 days?
About 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So we had a level 2 push hands that came up that was during that time. You'd already made your arrangements to go to the Wudong 6-week program in Wudong, China, with the masters that are there.
Yeah.
As it stands today. And you went to that program. And so you couldn't come to the push hands level 2. You couldn't be in 2 places at the same time. And so then how many days were you there, and kind of what happened? So at some point you went, what you just said, you went, okay, enough of that nonsense. And you literally flew from China to us and got here in time for the start of the level 2, and then took that. But what were the circumstances what happened?
All right. So this was a very specific, almost like application and invite only kind of program. It was in the Wudong Mountain range, but maybe about a 30 or 40 minute drive outside of the Wudong Temple area. It was another
Was this on the
monastery.
main mountain there? Where there's
It
different
was
monasters?
outside. It was on one of the outlying mountains. Another sect called the Pure Yang sect. You know, they have the Sanfeng sect or the Mysterious Warrior sect, Xuanwu. There's close to a dozen different ones. Some that only focus on qigong, some that focus on the fighting side. And this is one. I guess there was a single transmission, like one master to one disciple for 21 or 22 generations. And now this current teacher wanted to start teaching others. And so I went there and I saw what he advertised we would be doing and what we would be learning. And I kind of had high expectations because of your workshops, because you actually did what you said you do for advertising and such. Hey, you will feel the energy, you will feel the other person's ting, you will root X number of feet down into the ground. This will happen, this will happen. And it did. And I go there and the guy and his, I guess some of his more senior students were, I don't know about the guy himself, he seemed to have a lot of skill, but his senior students did not. And the way the teaching was done there was very dismal, for lack of a better word. And I was like, really? I gave up seeing Sifu Clear for this. So after about close to 10 days there, knowing that I didn't learn anything at all, I walked down the mountain. And as soon as I got cell phone reception, I sent an email to Matt asking, hey, can I still come to the workshop? And he's like, yeah, of course. So while I was still at the base of the mountain waiting for a bus to come get me, I bought my plane ticket and went to your workshop, which was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I remember that. I did not, I didn't, for some reason, I thought it was a lot longer ago than 2019, but because you've been so like diligent and with us ever since, just feels like
It's because it was before COVID started and then COVID
Yeah.
made the last 2 weeks of it seem like the last 10. That slow hurry to get nowhere.
Well, I bought your Shingi program and then your Iron Body, Iron Palm, Dimok Shingi program, and then your Advanced Kuntao Shingi program, and then your Yichuan program. And I was like, yeah, this just keeps going and going and going. Then Bagua, and then the ghost fighting.
Too. You're liking the Shinyi a little bit too, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. That program was awesome. It was what allowed me to do my Tongbei really well while I was in China. Why that teacher was like, oh, you're getting this really well. You're such a gifted student. Yeah, it's because I'm doing clear Xingyi. That's all.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see here. So what all martial arts have you actually studied? So we know it's Tai Chi Chuan at this point. We know it's Xingyi, some Bagua,
All right.
some Dongbei. What else would you say you've got some decent time into?
All right. My first art was they called it a kung fu school, but it was mostly American Kempo. But I guess because of the background and lineage of some of the higher level teachers in that organization, there was a lot more Shaolin stuff, and they taught what they said was Chen Tai Chi, which is part of why I wasn't a huge fan of Tai Chi at that time. Like, hey, I like the Qigong stuff. But so I did that. And then when I left there, I was just kind of dabbling in other things, whether it be MMA, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and Taekwondo. Didn't really stick to a whole lot of that, and began to travel to do other types of Kung Fu if I could find it. Eventually, I found Salat and Uncle Bill, and I wanted to focus on that more than anything. So I was looking for the Kun Tao, and I had met Arthur Sykes just before he died, and I wanted to do his Kun Tao stuff as well. So I did a little of that, but the teachers here in Arizona for that were not very open in their teaching. But I did that for about a year or a year and a half, and one of them taught Tibetan Tai Chi as well. So I was following that with him. And then there's a couple of years there that I wasn't really studying anything except DVD programs from pretty much all of Uncle Bill's students that I could find. And that's eventually how I found you and your DVD programs as well.
You have other credentials. I know one of them is the English teacher for non-English speakers. Is that right?
Yep, I did that for 3 years while I was abroad. I also have a somewhat incomplete university education that was on psychology and philosophy, just a few credits shy of a bachelor's degree, but I was getting into anthropology as well at that time because I was studying abroad and was still taking online classes while I was in China.
Yeah. Did you complete an associate's or a bachelor's there?
I have an associate's, not a bachelor's.
Associates in.
And I was doing that still schools here in Arizona while I was in China.
Okay.
So it wasn't a Chinese education.
Yeah.
Thank
No, what's the associate? You got a Chinese education too, just different than you would have.
Yeah, no, that was not fun.
So what is the associates in? What is your associates in? Was it a philosophy, psychology thing or?
Psychology.
Psychology.
Okay. And I know you did the career there for that period of time as an English teacher. Are there any other careers that you had, or is it Tai Chi full time or?
Pretty much Tai Chi full time. Tai Chi and martial arts.
Yeah. Yep.
As much as I can.
Yep. Well, with the martial arts, you should be, and all that, classes should be filling up soon with the economy doing what it's doing. Typically, the crime rate goes up and people start looking for self-defense. So unfortunate, but true.
I'd really like to get some kids classes started up when I have a better location. I developed a curriculum for that, which is a mix of a lot of different things I've done, including the Clear Defense program and adding some of the SALAT principles in there. How kids can use the jumping and I'd have to find my notes on it.
Yeah, you're saying the stuff that's the Kung Tao stuff that we've got. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
Using your voice as a deterrent, how to utilize that, how kids can use making themselves heavy when they need to be and light when they need to be.
So you began actually teaching at the age of 15 as an assistant instructor?
That is correct. So I was, the first school I started at was only open for about 6 months before I joined. And I'd only been there for about 6 months when the teacher invited me to start showing up for the kids' classes, and I started teaching the children's classes. And then by the time I was 16, teaching the adult classes and most of the private classes as well, because that instructor was kind of just looking for someone to teach for him so he wouldn't have to show up at the school. So to me, that was like, hey, that's good training and practice for me. So I was there teaching the majority of all classes for about 2.5 years.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Okay. Learned how to run a school too. So that's all good stuff.
Yeah. Oh no, it was great. It's how I learned that I love to teach.
Yeah. Yep. And so, yeah, absolutely. Do you have any notable teaching accomplishments in terms of who you've taught or where you've taught? And I've got here some about where you taught.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
Go Go ahead.
I've taught principles of clear Tai Chi in 4 countries so far.
Which are,
China, Italy, Latvia, and USA.
yep. Is Latvia where Dr. Doom is from?
No,
I'm sorry, say that again?
he said it's Latvia where Dr. Doom is from.
Oh, no. It's one of the countries.
Latveria is where Dr. Doom was supposed to be from. So,
It was fun there doing push hands with people in that country that do Tai Chi and Lik Chuan from Samchin. I was they had some internal stuff, but not a wide variety of it. So I was showing several of them there push hands, your push hands,
now where's
to help
Latvia?
train the concepts of that.
Is
Where is it?
Is it next door to Italy or is it?
It is just below Finland, by the Black Sea. It used to be a part of Russia.
Yeah.
If that helps your.
They become part of
where it's
Russia
at.
again?
Yeah.
It probably, I was gonna say it's where one of the places Russia's gonna go to after Ukraine, depending on what's going on in the world when this podcast is put out.
Yeah. Okay.
But this interview is about you.
Yes. Specific student successes, help, or self-defense.
I've had a lot of different students that have said certain things or injuries have hurt them for a number of years, and just getting them to soften it, whether it be just by using their mind and their tongue to soften that area, or just hanging from a string. Like one student had a lack of movement in their shoulder, a frozen shoulder, which I kind of felt was more located in their shoulder blade. And when I'd feel like, hey, you feel this little knot? They're like, yeah. I'm like, hang from a string. Oh, look, you see how it reduced in size? That's why I keep telling you to hang from a string. Not a whole lot of specific ones, too much, except one of my students was able to also tell his daughter, who's having stomach troubles, to put her mind into it and to just undo the knot that she feels in her stomach. Which I was like, hey, that's a generational thing. That makes me feel good.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah.
So you kind of relate some of this already, but if there's any parts that you want to add or get into a little more specific in details, it's what caused you to start studying from Qigong Richard Clear. And I've got here that you originally found me through Uncle Bill and seeing some Uncle Bill's other senior students, and then either seeing me referenced in there or mentioned in there, or actually sometimes on somebody else's video, whether I gave permission for that or not. The one that I was going on the most, the guy's got no permission to do that, never had any, but that wasn't going to stop him. And, and if he had a whole video of me that he could actually sell, he would illegally sell that just as quickly. Anyways, enough of that. But how did you end up coming to it, I guess is the question.
At the time, I was doing a lot of different types of iron body training as well when I'd found your stuff. And I was like, okay, I want to try his internal iron body and his Kuntao iron body. I want to see what these are all about.
Yeah.
Internal iron palm. I put off buying the DVDs for a while, and then I ended up buying them at the same time I did a trial for your online Tai Chi program and Salat stuff. And I went through all of your phase 1 Salat material. And I was like, hey, this is, compared to a lot of other teachers, this is the real self-defense stuff and concepts that actually work, where most schools and DVDs you buy, it's just, hey, someone's going to throw a random punch, leave it out there, and you have 20 seconds to do whatever elaborate technique you want. And I was like, hey, this is the real stuff. And at the time, just because it was available, I thought, I'll look at his Tai Chi stuff, and your Neigong part in the Qigong program was the best I'd ever found for feeling the energy beyond just like your fingertips and hands, getting a whole body feeling, doing a whole body breathing with it, and getting your mind to expand the energy. And so I did your iron palm training, which was awesome. And then I didn't do as much of the Kuntao Salat Iron Body because I was not sleeping well at that time. And you said, don't do this if you're not sleeping.
Yeah,
And I
no,
was like, okay, well, I won't do it so much then. And when I'd signed up for all
you
this
do the internal
stuff,
ones, but that other one, it's not that it's not internal, but it's different. And yeah, it'll
Yeah. I've been doing it more recently. I love it. But at that point, I was signed up on your email list, and I saw this was 2016. I saw you advertising for the 2016 Push Hands workshop, which I was not able to attend, but I thought to myself, this is one that I really want to try to go to in the future. And a few months after that, I moved to China. And when I got an email saying, hey, in a few months, we're going to have our Push Hands workshop again, I was like, okay, well, I had to leave the country anyway for visa purposes, so I'm going to go to Tennessee this time. Whereas before, every time I had to leave China, I'd just go visit another country and go on a little mini vacation. But I was like, okay, this time, Tennessee. So that got me, after that workshop, I was a lot more open to the things you would teach and a lot more trusting of buying your material and feeling like I'm actually going to get something out of it, because I've bought a lot of DVD programs and traveled to meet a lot of other instructors, from, for example, from Arthur Sykes' lineage and so on for the Kuntao, that I was like, well, maybe the art's really great, but the teachers aren't giving me what they're supposed to, what I feel they're supposed to. So that's what got me started to train with you, as well as getting me to be committed to the things that you teach as well.
What did you find once you got live and you saw and the hands-on and actually got to feel stuff and all of that compared to what you'd seen on video? How did it was it the same as what you were getting on the video? Was it not quite as good? You know, a lot of times it's easy on a video to do your absolute best. And then when people come live, it's not your absolute best. It's as close to that as you can get if you're, being honest and have integrity and stuff, but it's a little bit less. And then sometimes it's that they'll see it on video and it's like, whatever. And then they feel it live and it's like, oh, wow, that's a lot more different or more than I thought it was from what I got on the video. Anyways, what was your experience of video to live?
Well, that goes, I wanted to touch on that anyway. So another program that I had bought just before I went to China from you was the Fa Gong DVD set as well, which again, the Qigong in there and actually being able to feel everything was awesome. But again, I was mostly doing it by myself. I didn't have any live instruction. So attending the Push Hands workshop, in which my partner during that workshop was Mr. Ty Talbert the whole time. That was fun. Being able to feel someone else's root going down and knowing that my root's dropping and it's not just in my head, which was a big part of what I was wondering. I'm like, am I really doing this right? I don't know if I'm doing this right. From your internal power, your introductory internal power training, which has that, constant bear, getting heavy, dropping the root down a certain number of body lengths. And I wasn't sure if I was doing it right or if it was all in my head. And being able to feel it with different people and get thrown, far by Harry and other people at the workshop. It's like, hey, this stuff seems really, really cool. And it seems legit. Being able to sense other people, like with the drill where you're facing a wall and you have to feel whether someone's intent is on you or if it's on the wall beside you. A lot of those drills were, it added such a new dimension to the training. It's like, wow, you feel it with other people. It's not just you feel it in yourself. And you can pinpoint it and direct it. It's not like, kind of like Jim's story before, or what Matt had said, some people want their energy everywhere, all over the place and crazy. It's like, well, no, this is really directed and you're putting an intent and a purpose into it. And you choose what that is. And that helps you to grow in a myriad of different ways.
Cool.
All right. Next question.
what is your favorite thing to study, learn, and why?
Oh, that's hard to pick. I know I gave you an answer before, although I think it's changed since the time I typed that.
Talk about that one, and then talk about what it's kind of changed to.
It's changed a lot more into the Shin training, doing I've gotten into the house meditation again, which I'd put off for a while because I was stuck at a spot for a good amount of time.
Yeah, it can be unpleasant.
But otherwise, I like playing with the Yi and Ting skills, especially the Ting, because the further you learn into it, the more there's so much more depth. And even if you think you have a certain number of depth and there's not much more you can feel, there's so many layers and layers beyond that working with Ting is like the most astounding, yet also the most humbling of all the concepts I've seen so far.
Tell me why it's humbling.
No into it. Huh?
Why is it
Humbling because the more you can feel, the more that you can feel even deeper and deeper and deeper. Whether it be physically or energetically, are you actually looking into just the person's energy? Are you looking into their skeletal system, their muscles and tendons? Are you going deeper into the organs? Are you going deeper into the cells? Are you going deeper into the energy of each cell? Are you going into the connection between one cell and another, or the connection between one energy system and another, one meridian and another? It's not just the meridian that you're feeling into, it's the way it connects to everything else. Can you feel all of that at the same time? How quickly can you feel it? How deep can you feel it? And even if you think you have all that, I'm sure there's levels beyond what I've said, some that I can only think of in my imagination.
I'm hearing you say that you find it humbling because the volume of information that really is there to be studied. Is that part of it, or is it something a little different than that?
It's humbling because it's a road that I don't see there being an end to. So I feel like it's almost impossible to reach that end. I'm just going to keep walking while I can only see about 1 or 2 feet in front of me, like walking in the dark with a flashlight. I'm not exactly sure where the road leads, but I'm just going to keep walking it anyway.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. And you said that what you found more recently that's kind of got your attention even a little more than that is what again?
The Shin training.
Yeah, because it's just a further with the Ting and that with the Shin, it's same thing, deeper, more. Yep.